Okay, good morning. So today we'll be going over the PowerPoint. What is agriculture? Through this PowerPoint, you'll fill out the student notes in your interactive portion of the ICEV website. So agriculture is the science of cultivating soil, growing crops, and raising livestock to produce food and fiber. Agriculture provides the necessities to maintain life. Food, being what you eat, the nourishment your body gains. Fiber, the clothes you wear, the fiber you sleep on at night. And shelter, your schools, your homes, what protects you from the weather. Agriculture has contributed to the growth and development of civilization for approximately 10 to 12,000 years. Prior to agriculture practices becoming the normal way of life, people were primarily dependent on hunting and gathering wild animals and plants. Some of you must gather, some of you must hunt. Welcome. Come on back in. You're good. All right, so moving right along. Agribusiness involves the managing, marketing, and financing of food, fiber, and fuel products for domestic and global markets. We're a little bit ahead of you, but that's okay. We'll get you caught up. We're only on slide 3, so no worries. Any questions so far? Everybody good? Y'all filling out the student notes all right? Do that correlate directly with the PowerPoint? Agribusiness involves the managing, marketing, and financing of food, fiber, and fuel products for domestic and global markets. Agribusiness is considered to be the largest industry in the United States due to the amount of output and employment. 1 out of every 6 careers in the United States are agribusiness related. Supplies producers with necessities such as feed and equipment to produce the agricultural products. So agribusiness serves a lot of job employment, especially around this part of the world in farm country. It's very easy to go out and find a sales or a production job in correlation to agribusiness. Also, if some of you go to college, an agribusiness degree is something you might want to think about. You can do a lot with it. If you want to stay local, it'd be a good idea. So, speaking on agribusiness, it is divided into 2 sectors, the input sector and the output sector. The input sector is made up of resources and services used to produce agricultural products, such as feed, seed, equipment, and financing. And the output sector is the actual processing and manufacturing of the agricultural products, such as your packers, your transportation, advertising, and the processors. So you may not think about it, but those people hauling and shipping across the United States are agribusiness related. Am I going too fast? Everybody following along pretty easy?
Well, I was trying to get him caught up and I'm behind.
Oh, you're good. I'll slow down, wait on you. Do I need to go back a slide?
I'm like slide 5 right now. Saving. I got one.
Still good? We'll wait on you. Any questions so far? Ready to go to the next slide? Okay. Speaking on agribusiness still. Agribusiness, or agricultural business, has contributed to economic growth and development and improved the standards of living. Growth and development has contributed to increased productivity, better products, and more wealth among the population. So if you think about Cherry Valley, Arkansas, what is one way you think this population or this society makes its money? Farming. It's a big farming community. If there wasn't good agribusiness people around, how would they distribute what they harvest? How would they make money off of it? Or would they just grow it and store it all in one location? Some things to think about. So if you did plan on staying around an agribusiness degree, you could be a salesman if you wanted to. You got to be able to talk to people a little bit. But in this part of the world, an agribusiness degree will take you far, a lot farther than a normal business degree. So think about that. Y'all are pretty smart. Y'all can be college bound if you want to be. So over time, agribusiness has evolved from self-sufficient farming to creating a sense of interdependency. Interdependency. What do y'all think that means? Yes, sir. Go ahead.
It's saying that everything depends on everything else. So one sector depends on the other.
Very good.
To keep thriving.
Yes, sir. Yep. So that is speaking on one section of ag business, relying and depending on the other section to flourish, and vice versa. That other section relying on the first section to flourish. So consumers, which would be us, rely on agricultural producers for quality goods. So if you have a producer that's producing low quality product, we aren't going to buy it because we're so used to the high standard that we've set these days. Also, it has allowed agricultural operations to reduce the amount of manual labor, due to technological advances. What's one advancement y'all can think of in farming that's made life 100 times easier?
GPS tracking.
GPS tracking. Well, let's go back a little bit further before GPS became a thing. A tractor, right off the bat. Back in the day, they used a mule or a horse, and they had a plow they'd pull behind it, and they'd have to stand behind the plow and lunge the horse around or along. And it would take at least a few months to take care of this field out here if a man was using a horsepower. But with tractors today, get it knocked out in a few weeks. So, agribusiness has allowed farming to decrease from 6 million farms to approximately 2 million farms. Why do they say that like it's a good thing?
That means more people can go into other sectors besides just manual labor.
Very good. More people can branch out, do something other than farming if they want to. Also, those 2 million farms are able to have more land. They can produce more. They can hire extra hands. And they can produce better quality of goods because they are able to hire more and not worry about being in business or being in what's the word I'm looking for? In competition with other farmers. Also, it has decreased the amount of farmland. But when it decreases the amount of farmland, somehow it's doubled the amount of production. Decreased land, more production. Less farmers, more production. Something to think about. So here's a fact for you. In the 1940s, there were approximately 6 million farms averaging 67 acres each, or a hectare. That's what they call it. So a hectare is a unit of measurement for land, like an acre. But a hectare, 67 hectares is approximately 165 acres.
It comes out to 11,000 acres.
11,000. Okay. So 1 hectare is 11,000 acres?
Or it says that 1 hectare is 165. So if every farm has averages 67, it's 11,000 acres.
Okay. So 1 hectare is 165 acres.
Yes.
Okay, very cool. I didn't know that, so thank you for sharing that. Also, agribusiness has enabled people to have careers unrelated to the agricultural industry. Many people moved from farms to cities once the need for manual labor decreased. It's something we talked about. With the decrease in farmers, the farmers are able to produce more and better quality of goods. And those people who don't want to do the manual labor can branch off and do something that they want to change up, try something new. And by allowing people to leave farms and enter non-farm careers, this improved the economy by increasing purchasing power from the consumers. So the consumers were able to make their money, save their money the way they wanted to, so they could branch off and spend that money in different areas. If you think about it, if you're farming, you're not going to buy products from another farmer, right? You're going to buy from the guy that you work for or your own farm. But say you're working in town and you see a farmer's market down the road. It's got good quality produce. You're probably going to go and buy some if you want to. So that makes that farmer money. That gives y'all good quality of products. Am I talking too fast? Everybody good? I get ahead of myself sometimes. So if I ever talk too fast, just let me know. Okay. So moving along. Regulatory agencies. So speaking of the agencies, one you probably all know is the USDA. Has anybody heard of the USDA? What does USDA stand for?
United States Department of Agriculture.
The USDA, the United States Department of Agriculture. Also, one y'all probably haven't heard of is ABC, the Agribusiness Council. Some more regulatory agencies are AMS, Agriculture Marketing Service, and then the RMA, the Risk Management Agency. So the AMS develops standards for commodities, so the quality of produce that is produced, marketing programs, and agreements for the USDA as well. And then the RMA, Risk Management Agency, provides risk management solutions to strengthen the economic stability through insurance. So the RMA is for farmers that if they invest, they get a form of insurance. And if something were to go wrong on their farm, if they had a low year, if they hit a stump, that RMA would help cover them. Not completely cover them, but it would give them a little bit.
It's what people use insurance for, right?
Pretty much. Everybody good? Okay, so their Agribusiness Council, ABC, was initiated in 1967 by President Lyndon B. Johnson. Yes, sir, question. Missed the last slide. Okay, we'll go back. Over there sleeping on me, Big Dave, wake up. I'm just joking, giving you a hard time. Hope you know that. Agribusiness Council, ABC, was initiated in 1967 by President Lyndon B. Johnson. The Agribusiness Council strengthens the U.S. agricultural sector through private trade and investment solutions in developing countries. So foreign trade. Solutions in developing countries. Just right off the top of y'all's mind, what is a developing country? Can y'all think of one?
Continent of Africa.
Continent of Africa. Very good. Very good. They're not as developed as we are. They have a lot of poverty, a lot of people starving, going hungry. And they can develop a lot, but it's a different world.
All except for South.
So the ABC also raises awareness for national and global economic problems. So if there's something happening in West Virginia that we don't know about, they'll write a report about it, branch off, and then they'll find a solution for it, find a way to fix the issue. All right, moving along to the animal part of the agri. Animal systems. So animal systems include the study of the following: life processes, reproduction, health, nutrition, what you feed them, genetics, how they're raised, why this calf is a certain color compared to this other calf, and then management. Management can range from pasture management to breeding management to culling and actually keeping the animals management. I like animal systems. So when speaking on animals, those four that we just mentioned can be applied to the following productions: small animals, dogs, cats, pets, birds; livestock, cattle, goats, sheep; aquaculture, fish, turtles; and exotic animals, zebras, alpacas, Big Daves. Oh, they're sleeping again, ain't you? So like I mentioned, a fact is small animals refers to household pets such as dogs, cats, etc., etc. Small animals. So animal agriculture accounts for 30 to 40% of the world agricultural production. So when speaking on animal production, people are mainly focused on producing animals which best suit the market for meat, dairy, and egg. Have y'all ever had goat milk before? Pretty good stuff. If you haven't tried it, I would suggest at least trying it. Any questions? You don't like it? It wasn't the best. But at least try it. It'll change your life. Oh, I might have skipped one. Okay, no, I didn't. All right. So animal agriculture impacts the U.S. economy by providing the following: 2 million job opportunities, 300 billion in economic output, 60 billion in household income, and it continues to gain economic importance in the United States. How much meat and dairy do y'all consume throughout the week?
A lot.
So can you imagine if the farmer down the road stopped producing his cattle? All the farmers locally went out of business. They stopped producing chicken. They stopped producing cattle, sheep, pigs. What would we eat? There's nothing. They stopped producing them though. There's nothing going on. There's no more animals like that to eat. What would we eat? We'd become vegetarians. That's an answer. I'm a carnivore every day of the week. So moving right along, animal agriculture has converted to fewer but larger operations, just like in farming. So they got smaller. The number of total production got smaller, but those few that are left standing grew larger. So the fewer operations, but larger operations have increased productivity, but once again, decreasing the use of manual labor and natural resources. So with a small amount of farms being larger, this makes the food prices more affordable. If you think about it, if there was more production operations, but they were all small, the price of all the products, all the meat, the dairy, and the eggs would be through the roof because everybody would be trying to compete against each other. Just something to think about. So, animal agriculture began with the domestication of animals approximately 10,000 years ago. And throughout those 10,000 years, it has transformed on how animals are managed, fed, and processed. And with the population continuing to grow, they've developed new technologies to help meet those needs. Back 10,000 years ago, I was the first one to domesticate an animal. It was a saber-toothed tiger. Ran up on me, punched him in the nose, ripped his tooth out. We're best friends ever since. Pretty old. Hey, did I tell you all the story about the talking tree? So I was walking through the forest one time. I heard a whispering sound. I looked behind me. I didn't see nothing. So I just kept walking. Didn't think nothing of it. And I was going out there to get some firewood. I had my axe with me. And something talked again behind me. I turned around. All I saw was this tree. And I'll be danged if this tree didn't start talking to me. I said, hey man, what's the axe for? What's going on? What's your deal? And I just started swinging, cutting that joker down. He said, hey man, what are you doing? I'm a talking tree. I said, well, you may be a talking tree, but you're going to die a log. Go get it, die a log, die a log. Tough crowd. Yes, sir.
I actually saw this last night on r/dad jokes.
That joke I just said? That's pretty good. I like it. Put my own little story to it. Nothing? Golly. You're going to make me work harder. That's all right. Okay. So animal agriculture. Big Dave, you with us? I don't want to have to go back for you again. My dang phone up, boy. So animal agriculture pertaining to animals being used for research, testing, teaching, or exhibition are regulated under the Animal Welfare Act. Got a question for y'all. And this is something that's going to rack your brain a little bit. What is the difference between animal welfare and animal rights? So us as humans, as Americans, have rights, correct? Do animals have the same rights we do?
I get to eat them.
Why not? Why do they not have the same rights as we do?
Because
They're raised and
we're at the top of the food chain for a reason.
Okay. So what do y'all think animal welfare is?
they eat free food.
They do? It's not free though.
The animals, it is for the animals.
It's not for us.
Correct.
Yes, sir.
Isn't animal welfare to ensure that before they're slaughtered, they aren't being abused?
Correct. So animal welfare is how you raise your animal. Make sure it has the correct nutrition. Make sure it has water, food, shelter. That's not being abused. And some people in this world believe that animals should have the same rights as humans.
Wrong.
That's dumb.
And I'm on that page
Because
with
they're
you folks.
liberals.
Easy. It's agriculture, not politics. But yes, I think that animals deserve to have welfare. They deserve to be raised and taken care of properly. But when it comes down to it, I'm not going to treat my dog the way I treat one of y'all. Or my significant other. My dog is going to earn its keep. It's going to be treated like a dog. It's going to eat dog food. But with my significant other, she's going to eat steak. She's going to have a house over her head. She's going to be took care of. Just eating steak. primate style. Ain't that right, Big Dave?
There's people that believe if you eat steak, you should cook it well done to be ethical.
You mean burnt steak?
Yeah.
Steak is amazing.
I think you mean burnt.
Yeah, there's
Mine
people
is still like bleeding when I get it. It's like still flopping around.
Well, you just take a fresh slice off and
Yeah.
straight in.
Uh-huh. Caveman style.
Medium.
I like mine medium.
I like medium well. Medium well. A little bit done, but still kicking a little bit. All right, so regulatory agencies for animal agriculture include Animal and Plant Health Inspection Service. This is a department under the USDA. This department promotes agriculture health and assists in the protection of wildlife. And is composed of many organizations to cover the broad topic of animal agriculture. So speaking with animal welfare, animal nutrition, animal products, the actual slaughtering and processing of animals. Wouldn't you like your animal to be sent through a processor instead of Farmer John cutting their head off, skinning them, and then meating them out, having a few hairs in your steak,
This is just extra texture.
extra texture. Yeah,
Brings out the flavor.
that's true. That's true. Everybody good with me so far? Everybody still here? Very good. Outstanding. Okay. Also, something else for animal agriculture, Center for Veterinary Medicine. I don't know if y'all know this or not, but small animals, large animals, livestock, every once in a while they need some medicine or they might need to be operated on. So veterinary medicine provides medical, health, and maintenance for your animals. This is also a department under the USDA, and it manufactures and distributes medicines and activities for animal use. Animal care, it's kind of like the animal doctor. So something we haven't talked about yet. We did mention the difference between animal welfare and the animal rights movement. But the Animal Welfare Act, this will answer the question I asked you earlier. The Animal Welfare Act ensures animals are provided with proper housing, sanitation, nutrition, water, and medical care. So this is also produced under the USDA. So whenever a USDA inspector feels that you need to be inspected, they don't have to tell you, they don't have to give you a heads up. They can just show up and go through their routine inspection. So moving out of the animals and into the environment. Environmental service systems. Environmental service systems, speaking on the environment, clean air, dirty air, oxygen, CO2, includes the study of the following: recycling, pollution control, waste disposal, land preservation, and public health. Who here thinks global warming is real? Okay. We'll talk about it. So environmental services have a positive impact on the environment through conservation efforts. Environmental services focus on the prevention of soil erosion. It protects wildlife habitats. It preserves national forests and grasslands. And it also practices ways to reduce air and water pollution. a few agencies in relation to environmental protection is the OEM, the Office of Environmental Markets, which, hey, they're also a department under the USDA. The Office of Environmental Markets provides leadership for carbon, water quality, wetlands, and biodiversity markets. Yes, sir. 27. A little behind, Big Dave. USDA.
Not question 27, not slide 27.
Oh. Let's see here.
Right there.
Right here. So this is just a timeline of your environmental services. So in 1969, NEPA was formed, National Environmental Policy Act. 1970, the United States Environmental Protection Agency was established the first Earth Day in April. We love Earth. 74 was the Safe Drinking Water Act. And 76 was the Toxic Substance Control Act. And 77 was the Clean Water Act. In the 1990, the Pollution Prevention Act. And then in 96, a year after I was born, the Food Quality Protection Act came out. I'm old. Everybody good? I'll wait on you. Give everybody a second to get caught up. Looks like we're going to finish the PowerPoint today, and then tomorrow we'll go out in the shop. I'll try to get there as quick as possible. But you'll have that on them big jobs. So we talked about the OEM, the Office of Environmental Markets. So it provides leadership for carbon, water quality, wetlands, and biodiversity markets. And then the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency. The EPA enforces laws pertaining to public and environmental health, and also provides information on how to manage human health and environmental risks. EPA. Food products and processing systems. Moving out of the environment. Includes the study of food sources, food content, and industry and government regulations. So the sanitation of your equipment, safety of your workers, the quality of the produce, and what you do with the waste or the trash. Everybody good with this past slide? I'm sorry. Got them all answered? Nice. We're almost done. Y'all stay with me. Almost done. Food safety and processing includes food chemistry, food microbiology, nutrition, and food technologies. Food safety focuses on the handling, storage, and preparation of food products. It assists in providing a healthy, nutritious diet by helping to reduce the risk of foodborne illnesses. Have y'all ever had food poisoning before? Pretty miserable. If you've never had it, I highly suggest you don't get it. The USDA protects approximately 25,000 foodborne illnesses annually. That's a lot of sickness. Food processing primarily strives to extend the shelf life of food products by acting as a preservative. So food processing, so preservative measures are refrigeration, canning, drying, salting, and fermentation. And some of these methods might cause the product to lose some nutritional value, but it'll make it last a lot longer. So when the world ends, I'm going to be stocked up on some beans. Feel sorry for whatever hole I have to dig that day. You know what I'm saying, Big Dave? Whole lot of toilet paper. Okay, so the timeline of food safety and processing. So in 1862, pasteurization for animals became a thing. In 1906, the Food and Drug Act, Meat Inspection Act became available. So there's two acts there, the Food and Drug and then the Meat Inspection. In 1907, a year later, the first certified color regulations came into effect for food safety and processing. In 1934 was when the microwave was created. Interesting fact for you. In 1939, food standards came into effect. In 1949, guidance to industry, aka the Black Book, came into effect. In 1954, Miller Pesticide Amendment, which pretty much protects your crops from being sprayed with harmful pesticides that could potentially damage you or other people that consume it, came into effect. The 1968s rolled around. The Animal Drug Amendment came into effect, making sure you don't put harmful drugs or antibodies into your livestock. Sanitation programs rolled around. Owen, get off my desk. In 1969, sanitation programs came into effect. In 1973, low-acid food processing became a normal aspect. Let me zoom in a little bit. In 1980, the Infant Formula Act became an aspect, protecting your babies from harmful drugs, antibodies. And then in 1990, Nutrition Labeling and Education Act was put into effect. Letting you know what's inside your food before you buy it, which is a good thing. Food safety and processing aims to decrease health threats which endanger the population. So if something here in the United States causes a foodborne illness, and that food is shipped over to China, let's say, before we know that it's causing a foodborne illness, that can cause a whole another outbreak over in China. Kind of what we're dealing with right now.
China just needs to stop eating weird stuff. That's my joke.
China.
China.
So some regulatory agencies in dealing with food and processing is the CDC, Center for Disease Control and Prevention. This is a department under the Department of Health and Human Services, and it conducts research to provide the public with information about possible health threats. CDC. And the FDA, Food and Drug Administration. The FDA protects public health by monitoring the safety and effectiveness of the food supply. Moving right along, we've only got 10 or 12 slides left, is the natural resource systems. Natural resource systems include the study of water, forests, soil, and wildlife habitats. These resources come to us naturally. Can y'all think of some natural resources? Oil,
Timber.
timber. Anybody else? Oil and timber. It's a good start. It's a good start. Thank you. So natural resource systems develop, preserve, and oversee natural environments such as forests and rangelands. Natural resource systems assist in protecting various species of wildlife. And also enforce your hunting laws. Anybody going dove hunting this weekend? I'm going Saturday morning. I'm hoping we slaughter them. Private field this year on my uncle's land. I'm hyped. It's going to give me a good start for trap season. I know that. So if you think about it, natural resources. These will diminish if used over time without proper management. What happens when we run out of oil and fuel? Have you ever seen the movie Mad Max? Think about that. They ran out of fuel. They ran out of oil. Oil became what they focused on to get by in life.
So America just continues.
Do you think if we don't have any vehicles, we can't operate our tractors? We can't operate our tractors, can't drive around town. Everybody moves to foot or horseback. It might slow down the rate of which the American people are moving forward. But that might not be a bad thing because we are moving in the wrong direction. That's what I feel, at least. I don't know. Y'all are technology based. I'm kind of old school. Natural resource management contributes to economic growth. This is the ability of an economy to produce goods and services within a specific time period. So that pretty much assists the population with having a constant supply of food, fiber, and fuel. I think we're only down to 10 left. We've got it. Finish strong. Get this easy 100-point grade done. Okay, so a timeline of your natural resources. In the 1900s, 1900 to be exact, U.S. Lacey Act came into effect. 3 minutes, 1 minute. Okay, regulatory agencies, National Park Services, and the NRCS. Those are both under, or the NRCS is under the USDA, and the NPS is under the U.S. Department of the Interior. Moving along to plant systems. Plant systems include the study of life cycles, functions, classifications, and growth practices. Plant production systems focus on providing plants and food crops by using fewer resources, such as fertilizer, pesticides, herbicides, and water. Plants play an important role in our economy, and they provide basic human needs such as food, clothing, shelter, and healthcare products. I should still have your computer out. I'm not going back over this stuff. Regulatory agencies include Animal and Plant Health Inspection Service, APHIS, which is a department under the USDA and is responsible for protecting agriculture from pests and diseases. Some regulatory agencies are the FDA, Food and Drug Administration. We talked on it a little bit. It's under the USDA. It ensures the safety and proper labeling of all food and feed for livestock. And then the last portion, power, structural, and technical systems. This includes ag equipment, power systems, alternative fuel, woodworking, metalworking, welding, and project planning. And y'all are good to go.